Most annual reports are written to be skimmed, bulleted, sanitized, forgettable. But inside the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office's fiscal year 2025 filing to Congress sits a short passage that does something the rest of the document avoids. It describes approximately 100 airborne, unidentified anomalous phenomena, operating in proximity to 2 uncrewed surface vessels off the coast of Virginia. One case, the only maritime event in the entire report, and critically, one that was not closed. No imagery, no sensor products, no dates released publicly, just a summary paragraph and a status designation most viewers have never had explained to them. That designation is where the real story lives. To read the report correctly, you have to understand what it legally is. AARO was stood up in July 2022 under the Under-Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. Its reporting obligations flow from Section 1683 of the FY2022 National Defense Authorization Act, codified at 50 U.S.C. paragraph 3373, later amended by the FY2023 and FY2024 NDAAs. The statute requires an annual report to the Armed Services and Intelligence Committees covering all reported UAP events in the period. It requires that report be submitted in unclassified form, but it explicitly permits a classified annex. That single clause governs almost everything the public will never see about the Virginia case. Consider what is being described in operational terms. Roughly 100 airborne objects is not a sighting. That's a formation, or a swarm, or a saturation event, a scale that implies coordination, launch infrastructure, and endurance. 2 uncrewed surface vessels is a different claim entirely. Uncrewed surface vessels are boats. They have hulls, propulsion, control links, and, unlike lights in the sky, they can, in principle, be photographed, tracked, boarded, or recovered. And the location matters. The Virginia Capes region encompasses Naval Station Norfolk, the largest naval installation in the world, plus Naval Air Station Oceana and the Atlantic warning areas where carrier air wings train. This is not empty ocean. Here's why that detail is the most consequential in the report. Since 2022, uncrewed surface vessels have moved from experimental to routine. Ukrainian USVs have struck Russian warships in the Black Sea. Houthi USVs have targeted shipping in the Red Sea. Multiple state and non-state actors now field them, which means a USV is, by default, an attributable technology. Somebody built it. Somebody launched it. Somebody was controlling it. AARO's public position across successive reports has been consistent. It has found no verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial technology. Read against that baseline, 100 airborne objects paired with 2 surface craft near Norfolk points somewhere far more conventional, and arguably more alarming. This would not be the first swarm. In July 2019, multiple U.S. Navy destroyers operating off Southern California, including the USS Kidd and USS Omaha, recorded numerous unidentified aircraft maneuvering around them for days. The Navy confirmed the footage's authenticity. In December 2023, unidentified drones transited Joint Base Langley Eustis in Virginia across roughly 17 nights. Langley is minutes from Norfolk. And on February 13, 2025, General Gregory Guillot, commander of U.S. Northern Command, testified to the Senate Armed Services Committee that drone incursions had been detected over some 350 U.S. military installations in 2024 alone. By mid-2025, the department had established a dedicated joint task force to counter the problem. Context matters. The Virginia case is not an outlier, it's an escalation. So what evidence should exist? An event of this scale in that airspace would generate multiple independent data streams, shipboard and shore-based radar tracks, electro-optical and infrared video from aircraft targeting pods or base security systems, electronic support measures, the passive collection of control link emissions, which is precisely how you attribute a drone to an operator. Automatic identification system records for surface traffic, potentially acoustic data. Radio frequency and emitter data is where classification tightens hardest because it exposes collection capability, not just the target. None of that is in the unclassified report, not because it doesn't exist, but because the statute never required it to be there. Which brings us to the status designation. AARO's case dispositions are not binary. Cases can be resolved and closed. Cases can be referred elsewhere, and cases with insufficient data to reach a conclusion can be retained rather than discarded, held open for correlation against future reporting. That is the functional meaning of an active archive. The office is stating, on the record, that it cannot resolve the event and is unwilling to declare it explained. Procedurally, it also means something else. An open case is a legitimate basis for withholding operational detail under exemptions covering ongoing investigations and national security information. Not closed, not concluded, not releasable. There is a second structural detail in the same report that deserves equal attention. 9 cases were escalated to the broader intelligence community rather than resolved internally. Understand what that transfer does. Once a case moves to agencies like the Defense Intelligence Agency, the National Air and Space Intelligence Center, or the Office of Naval Intelligence, it enters production lines that are compartmented by default. The analysis becomes foreign intelligence. The reporting channel narrows, and AARO's unclassified summary is no longer the authoritative account of anything. Referral is not suppression, but functionally, it is a one-way door out of public visibility. None of this requires a conspiracy. It requires only the structure Congress itself wrote. Members of the armed services and intelligence committees and their cleared staff can read the annex. They can request the underlying tracks and imagery. The public cannot, and no existing statute compels it. The FY2024 NDAA's records collection provisions established a National Archives repository, but the sweeping declassification review in the original Schumer-Rounds UAP Disclosure Act was stripped before passage, so the honest summary is this: 100 airborne objects, 2 uncrewed vessels, America's largest naval concentration. Status: unresolved. Everything that would let us judge whether that matters exists and sits in an annex we haven't been given. The correct question isn't what happened off Virginia. It's who has read the file and what they've done about it.